Black culture matters. These stories from Black culture are written by Imelda Hunt. They are performed to engage listeners of all ages. They are based on living history. Some events are embellished to help the flow of the story. The poem Ruby Showed the Way is written by Carol Oates. And Bouncing Back, Unknown Artists. The artists performing are Stephanie Dixon, Vicky Simpson, and Wakeso Peterson. Videographer, Chris Bird. Queen Nanny. Before 1444, and the English ships of Queen Isabella's landed on America's shores, the land was a beautiful wilderness. There were mixtures of all kinds of people who lived in tribes, colonies, and communities. The African Maroon colonies were also in America in 1944, and they never left their tribal space. All throughout the English and American wars of 1776, the French and Indian War, and the Civil War, Maroons lived without being influenced by European society. Zola was a Maroon and a leader, and Ola was also a Maroon. Both wise young leaders who were raised by saltwater Africans. One day, Zola and Ola were walking and hunting far from their community that was hidden deep in the hills. As they walked, they talked about the coming harvest. Their conversation was interrupted by the voices of enslaved Africans on the nearby plantation singing a field holler song.
Ho, Emma, ho, you turn around, dig a hole in the ground. Ho, Emma, ho, ho, Emma, ho, you turn around, dig a hole in the ground. Ho, Emma, ho.
While they were singing, Zola became lost in both her feelings of gratitude that it was not her with them, and her sorrow for what they were experiencing as captives on the plantation. Ola felt pain in his heart for what he knew these African lives was like. He was glad that he lived free in the hills with other Africans like Zola. Suddenly, in a large bush, an even closer noise drew their attention away from the field holler song. They heard the noise and both turned at the same time and drew their swords. They always kept their swords with them for protection. Looking at each other, Ola motioned Zola to be quiet and to stay where she was. He moved toward the bush, holding his sword.
Wait, Ola, stop. It is not an animal. Don't you see clothing? Oh, don't be scared. We will not hurt you. Come, help me, Ola. She is hurt.
Be careful, Zola. She may be a spy.
I assure you, young warrior, I am not.
Your speech, it is different from ours. Where do you come from?
I come from far away. I come from a place called Barbados.
How did you get here? Aren't there plantations in Barbados run by white men who captured Africans?
Yes, I am one of those very same Africans. In Barbados, I lived on the Simmons plantation. I met Busa there. I had been sold for a high price from the plantation I was born on. Busa was brought to Barbados and was a head African on the Bailey's plantation, but he was born free in Africa. He is what we call a saltwater African.
Well, here's some food and water. Rest. And then you can tell us more about this Busa.
Here, use my wooden comb and my raft. I will get you water from the stream. Don't worry. Ola and I will guard you with our lives.
Zola, do not forget to light the signal so the others in the hills will know that we're all right. It is getting dark. We don't want them to worry. We will stay here for tonight.
Thank you. I am very tired. Wait, what is that sound? What is that I hear?
That is only Zola. Do not worry. She's probably catching us some fish. See? She is returning. And she has brought us some fruit and herbs as well.
Thank you. But I am not so weary as to think that the gods are not responsible and do not have a purpose for us meeting. I must tell you so that you will know that you are not the only ones who are helping Africans. Busa was a very strong, courageous, and intelligent African. Many, many months ago in Barbados, he led a fight against the British sugarcane planters. It involved over 400 enslaved people. The uprising had been carefully planned for some time. It followed the rejection of an imperial registry bill. This bill would have registered all enslaved Africans. If the bill had passed, we thought that then we would soon be set free. When the bill was rejected, Busa began planning a revolt. They did not think that we knew what was going on. I have always been able to read and write. Us elders joined in with Busa. We helped to lead the other enslaved peoples. Our aim was to overthrow the British planters. We wanted to gain our freedom. We wanted a better life for all African people. I read while I was making my escape that the British called what we did the Barbados Rebellion of 1816. See, I keep a newspaper with me, and it says one of the leaders of the revolt was an enslaved African called Busa. Another was Nanny Grigg, a domestic servant. The rebellion was carefully executed by senior enslaved people across the island. This is why I have been moving so quickly to find safety away from my home. Ever since the uprising, my life has been in danger.
You have been sent here by the Creator.
Yes. That date was Sunday the 14th, April 1816, if I recall correctly.
Only the Creator could protect you and bring you here to us.
Yes, I agree. It had been almost 125 years since our ancestors had tried to gain our freedom. It was a surprise to the British cane planters, but still, many of us were killed, even Busa. Busa and I could not train our followers, nor did we have as many followers as Toussaint Louverture in Haiti. Louverture had over 14,000 followers. They fought and gained freedom for all of Haiti.
Come rest, and we shall talk more in the morning. You can live with us in the hills. Many of our people escaped from the plantation and they live free there with us. Some go back and watch plantation owners to help others get out to safety.
You will be safe with us.
Now, I tell you, like I told my followers back in Barbados, the only way to gain freedom is to fight for it. May the Creator continue to smile on both of you. I will sleep now.
Nanny Griggs went with Zola and Ola in the morning to the hills where the Maroon Secret Society lived. In Jamaica, another Caribbean island, she is called Queen Nanny. She is honored and respected as an elder. Honoring our African elders is a cultural tradition that is still practiced in most African American families today. It is also why most Black children love and respect the wisdom of their grandparents.
They slapped my face and they called me names. I turned my cheek, but it hurt the same. They said, "Hey girl, you can't learn that." But I ignored these lies and I'm bouncing back. See, I could not quit, but they had me down. They faded my dreams and they passed me around. They knew by then that I would crack, but I fooled them all and I'm bouncing back. See, for a while there, I thought I was gone. Instead of my tune, I was singing their song. I thought I couldn't learn because I am Black. But I changed that tune and I'm bouncing back. You see, I found a new hope and now I have a new dream. I know now I can do anything. I know now there is nothing that Stephanie lacks, because I learned how to bounce back.
The pianist everybody loved, based on the life of Art Tatum Jr., a story for the storyteller.
No one to talk with all by myself. No one to walk with, but I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving. I'm saving my love for you and you and you, baby. Once there lived in an Ohio city called Toledo a young Black boy named Art Tatum Jr., who was born blind, but he could really play the piano. He was not an ordinary boy. He lived with his mother and his sister Arlene, and he loved listening to the rolls on his player piano. When he was 3 years old, his mom came home to find him sitting at the piano in the living room playing stride music along with the music coming from the radio. "Come here, Arlene," his mother said. "What in the world is Art doing?" Arlene listened to her brother playing, and soon her feet started moving. Her feet looked just like Art's hands on the piano. Tap, tap, tap. Arlene whirled and danced and swished and turned. Mom, he's playing every key on that piano, she said. She loved her brother, even at 3. That was just the beginning. And even though Art could only see the shadow of a sunset, it didn't stop the sunshine in his smile or stop him from playing his piano. Anyone in the neighborhood, up and down Door Street, on any given day, could hear Art play from his mother's window in their living room. Door Street was the main street in the colored folk side of town. In Toledo, it transitioned into the center of African American life. There was Lady B's radio station and the Bronze Raven newspaper office and all Black-owned stores. There was also Ray's supermarket, where Black folks could shop and buy their groceries, like neck bones and black-eyed peas. On Collingwood, across the street from Ray's, was Stanley's restaurant, where you could buy fried chicken and shrimp. You could look through the window and see people smacking their lips, and you could smell the collard greens. You could hear gospel music playing from the storefront churches, or music coming from the nightclubs up and down Door Street. On Saturdays, along Door Street, in the colored folk side of town, you could see Black people shopping at Jack's Men's Shop or Woolworths for clothes to wear to church on Sunday. If you were there in the afternoon, you could see Black boys getting their hair cut at Lydell's barbershop. In front of Heron's beauty school, little Black girls played hopscotch, jacks, and jumped rope, while their mothers got their hair pressed and curled by Miss Gladys. Because on Saturday, everyone in the family was getting ready for church on Sunday. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I am free, for his eye is on the sparrow. So I know he watches me. Saturday nights in Toledo was also a time for Blacks to relax from working hard all week. Some in their homes would have house parties where they'd play card games like Bid Whist with their extended families, neighbors, and friends. Art would be there. When he walked in, everybody knew it was going to be a real good time. He would sit down, play the piano, and folks would dance. Guess who else was there? Right, Arlene, Art's sister. She wanted to go everywhere that Art went. His hands would be moving up and down the keys, and Arlene's feet would be moving just as fast as Art's hands. Tap, tap, tap. Arlene whirled, danced, and swished, and turned, and everybody had fun. Not everybody stayed in their homes on Saturday night in Toledo. Some would go to the colored nightclubs on Door Street to gather with their friends and co-workers to relax from their work week. This was not anything new for Blacks who migrated from the South to the North. In the South, these Black folk gathering places, like the ones on Door Street, were called juke joints. Well, I got a new way of wearing my hair. Got a smile on my face, but you didn't put it there, no, baby. You see, I done found a new friend. Oh, yes, I have. 'Cause while you were stepping out, someone else was stepping in. Art would play his music at nightclubs with other musicians like Harold Payne and Clifford Murphy. Art was awesome. Other musicians played and improvised when they played along with Art, like famous scat singer John Hendricks, who also lived in Toledo. Art played in his Sunday best at church, on radio for WSPD, for his friends' parties, and at high school hops at the Frederick Douglass Center. His magic hands played classical music as well as the blues, and his sassy, syncopated melodies made all the other musicians swing. His magic hands played jazz music as white folks shopped in the segregated Teddy's department store. Art's fame was known everywhere, in Harlem, New York, London, England, and throughout the whole world. He was a blind virtuoso on the piano. Art played instrumental jazz music. It had no words. Duke Ellington and women singers like Billie Holiday, who sang the protest song Strange Fruit, loved Art's music. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rains to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for the trees to drop. Here is a strange and bitter crop. Although Art had very little sight, when he walked into a room, he would light it up with the sounds of life on his piano. Toledo native Art Tatum Jr. died in 1956 in Los Angeles. And to this day, no one can play like or as much piano as Art Tatum did. In Toledo, you can see his home, an art piece dedicated to him called the Art Tatum Celebration Column in the city's downtown, and visit the Art Tatum Resource Center. I wonder, did the African trickster have his hand in this? Hey, misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. No, hey, misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. I can't let nobody turn me round, or turn me round, or turn me round. I can't let nobody turn me round. I got to keep on walking, keep on talking, walking on the freedom land. We can't let nobody turn us round, turn us round, turn us round. We can't let nobody turn us round. We got to keep on walking, keep on talking, walking on the freedom land. Ruby Bridges was only 6. People tried to hit her with sticks. Hateful words at her were thrown, hate to all with her skin tone. She went to school on her own. The kids all left. She was alone.
She wants to learn everything in life, but she goes to school with strife. Ruby was brave and learned at school with just one teacher who was cool. Her teacher smiles, but Ruby sees her fear and uncertainty.
Ruby does her best to stand tall and not let fear make her fall. Ignoring hate coming from the crowd, Ruby makes her country proud. In fear and ignorance, people stayed until Ruby showed the way.
Be respectful.
And do what's right.
And then peace will be in sight.
She didn't let nobody turn around, turn around, turn around. She didn't let nobody turn around. She just kept on walking and kept on talking, walking on the freedom land. We can't let nobody turn us round, turn us round, turn us round. We can't let nobody turn us round. We got to keep on walking and keep on talking, walking on to freedom land.